Hey guys, how's it going? I filmed this video back on July 4th, or started it on July 4th, and then I finished it up on the Friday after the July 4th, the next Friday after. Um, so the old accumulator had broke down, and you're going to watch me repair it. And this is kind of what prompted me to call Coons and then kind of snowballed into getting a new accumulator. Um, but anyway, I called to order parts for this one and it got expensive really fast. Let's just put it that way. So the Friday after the July 4th is when I actually made the deal to get the new accumulator, which I'm using now. Anyway, this one is fixed and there's nothing there's nothing else wrong with it, and it's fixed and ready to use. But anyway, it'll be leaving here soon. They hadn't come got it yet, but it's supposed to be going to a farm not too far from here. So anyway, hope y'all enjoy and talk to you later. Okay, so I'm here in the shop with the Coons accumulator. This is a 1036F. And yesterday I was baling and I was finishing up first cutting and I was almost done, and then I had a failure, and we're gonna go up here and look at it. So what happened was this gate right here switches back and forth to guide bales this way or this way. Well, the end of it broke right here. It broke off, so you can bend it now. And what that allowed it to do was go hit right here and then bend and go past its stop, and then go over here, and then the bales would get stuck right here instead of going on down. So I couldn't continue using it, and I didn't have time to come weld it, so that's what I'm doing today. What I ended up doing yesterday was unhooking the accumulator, and I got some help and we put the bales in packs of 10 by hand. And it was about 120 bales or something we had to do like that. It wasn't a whole lot, but it makes you appreciate the accumulator very, very much. So I guess in this video we're going to try to fix this thing. This is just, I'm not really mad about it. This thing's had a lot of hay put through it and hadn't really had much trouble with it. And anything mechanical can give trouble. So we're going to get the welder out, at least to something I can fix. And we'll have to do a little bit of straightening with a hammer, and I believe I can fix it in no time. So I'll probably put a little brace on it too to make it a little stronger. So let me get my hammer. Alright, you're probably going to want to use some hearing protection. Find somewhere to put my hammer where it won't leave.
Almost get it back in my hand. I think I'm gonna need a C-clamp. Okay, so I got it back in the position here. I got it lined back up with the C-clamp, so I'm going to go ahead and tack it back. And I'm going to get try to find some scrap metal or cut a new piece of metal or something to brace this thing and make it a little stronger. But I'm going to weld it a little bit here first. Okay, so it's like 6 days later since I was working on this last. I got aggravated and just quit. It was 4th of July when I was working on it last time in the last frame there, and I was going to weld this little piece together that I have clamped here. I got it all lined back up, and I got down there to get the welder, and the welder would not work. So, I mean, it would come on, but when I would pull this trigger right here, nothing would happen. And the wire, one of the wires inside of this handle had broken. And I took it apart on the 4th of July and looked at it, and it was already like 8:30, and I was tired, and I just went home. Said the heck with it. And I hadn't had time to come back and work on it until today's Friday after the 4th of July. So yeah, here I am back at it. Yesterday I went and picked up a new toy. We'll go look at that here in a minute. I got to put that together today, and I got to fix this thing today. So anyway, that's what's on the agenda. So I got the wire fixed. I had to solder the connector back together, so I got that done, and I was just getting ready to weld on this contraption, hopefully, if I can find a good place to stay. It's staying good. But not fall over here. It's not a good place to get to weld here. And I hope I have a good ground. Come on. There you go. Too hot. Too hot. We'll have to go down and turn the heat off. Turn the heat down, excuse me. Anyway, I got it tacked a little bit. Take this off, maybe. Yeah, I think I'll take this off. Weld it a little better. Yeah, it's broken here a little bit, and it's broken all the way up into here. Then I'm going to get a little piece and scab over it once I weld it to make it a little stronger, hopefully. Yeah. That should do the trick. Once I get it all welded up, I got to go down and adjust my welder. Okay, adjustment made. See if it helped. Come on. Now I think it's too low. It ain't burning in enough. Dang on it. I'll be right back. Now having your welder right down there and working up here is kind of aggravating. I don't think the welder is going to be coming up here anytime soon. Let's try this again. Still not happy. One thing I've thought about on this thing is when I put something up here, I don't want it to be extremely heavy because it might change how much spring is needed to make it work correctly. So I don't want to get carried away with adding a bunch of bracing and stuff. Just need something thin that'll just help hold it together. There went my poor old Kenwood radio walkie-talkie. That's what it's supposed to do. Hit that and stop. So anyway, let me come up with something to make it a little stronger, and then we'll go check out what I got that's new. Alright guys, so I've got a new toy here, and well, here it is. It's a sprayer, and it's a Reddick sprayer. I went and picked it up myself down in I think it was Williamston, North Carolina, just on the other side of Rocky Mount from here, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. But anyway, it's a 28-foot boom, 3-point hitch. All the controls are electronic. It's got an electronic controlled regulator. I'll show you the controls in the cab. It has hydraulic booms on it. These are the hydraulic cylinders that open the booms. It has the absorber system on the arms. Has a fresh water 5-gallon fresh water tank on it that you can fill up to wash your hands if you have to work on the nozzle or to wash a nozzle screen or something like that. It has a quick fill connection on it, and you hook a banjo fitting to it. This is a banjo type connector right here. That's what we call them. 2-inch. We have a nurse tank we can hook to it and fill it up. I'm not a big fan of spraying stuff, but it's just got to the point I'm going to have to do a little bit of weed control in some areas, and also when I'm switching alfalfa fields and stuff around, I need to be able to kill off the grass that's there and replant, stuff like that, do burn down. So anyway, I ended up getting a sprayer. So there it is. But what I'm doing at the moment is I am wiring up my GPS. This is the harness that goes to the sprayer. There's a controller in the cab, and what I'm doing is I'm adding a relay right here, because the GPS actually has, what I want to happen is when I turn the switch on for the sprayer to come on, I want the GPS to come on to start GPS coverage, so I know where I've been all at the same time. On most of my implements, I can set it up to where when you turn the PTO, like my fertilizer spreader, I can set it up where I turn the PTO on, and it automatically turns on coverage. On like a mower or a seed drill or something that uses hydraulics, I can set it up to like when I raise the hydraulics up, it cuts the coverage off. When I let the hydraulics down, it cuts the coverage on. But on this sprayer, I'm going to be using a switch to turn it on and off, which is up there in the cab right now. And I wanted it to where when I flip the switch on, the coverage would come on, flip the switch off, the coverage would go off. So obviously I have to tie into the electrical system of the sprayer and get power from that switch. And then there happens to be a way that you can control the GPS with an implement, what they call an implement switch. And this plug right here, this is the isobus plug, if you know what isobus is. It was tied up back here. I had to get a guy from John Deere to tell me where it was because I didn't know where it was, and then he told me the wrong wire color for this tractor. I think the older tractors had a white wire. This one is like a purple wire or something. Anyway, it's a weather pack plug, and I found it, and all you have, it's a 2-wire deal, and all you have to do is jump the 2 wires together and it turns the GPS coverage on. So what I'm doing is I got a relay out of an old truck, because what it needs to do is connect those 2 wires together. It doesn't use power to turn it on. If it used power, all I would have had to done is tapped into the hot wire and hooked it to it. But that ain't how it works. It actually uses ground. One of them's a ground, and one of them is going to the GPS. And when you touch them together, it turns on the GPS. So it actually needs ground. So what I'm doing is I'm using power from the switch to turn this relay on. And all a relay is basically an electric switch. You know, you have a toggle switch that you turn on and off. Well, that would be a mechanical switch. You actually turn it on and off. Well, a relay is basically the same thing, except it's controlled by electricity. So when you turn that mechanical switch on up there, it turns power on to these wires, which I've tapped into, which turns this relay on, which connects the ground to the GPS. So that way I'm still using ground to the GPS and not power. So that's why the relay is there. If you can understand what I'm trying to say, I'm sure some of you do and some of you may not. But in order to do that, I just have to, I made a little pigtail from the connector over there that goes to the GPS. It's going to be hooked in here. I've got power hook coming from that switch up there from the control box. It's going to be coming here, and then I've got ground, which is also coming from this. There's a ground wire in there that's coming from that plug, and I'm going to use the ground. You have to have ground to make the relay work. So I'm going to have ground to make it work, and then I'm going to jump the ground over to the other side to make the GPS work. So anyway, I know I'm not as good at explaining things as I should be sometimes, but I'm trying here. It doesn't really matter. Just know that it's going to work, and it's going to be pretty neat. So let's get up in the cab and I'll show you that control box that's up here. Okay, here is the control box. It's a T-Jet, and it has it's sectional. You can turn off each section of the sprayer independently. So you got a right side, you can turn the right side boom on, left side boom on, or just the center boom, which is mounted to the sprayer directly. Or you can have them all 3 on, and then this is the master to turn them all on and off at one time. And then this switch actually adjusts the electronic regulator, so you can adjust the pressure right here in the cab, which is really neat. So no more reaching out the back window. So what's going to happen is when I flip this on, it's going to turn that relay on down there, which is going to connect the wires to the GPS. It'll make the GPS start doing coverage. When I cut it off, it'll cut the relay off, which disconnects the wires going to the GPS, which turns the coverage off. So it will be a one switch operation. So yeah. Anyway, I'm getting ready to hook this thing up as soon as I get this wiring done. It ain't gonna be long. I'm gonna hook it up, and then I gotta get out here. What is wrong with me? I drank some coffee. I gotta get out here in the driveway and do some calibration to the sprayer and make sure I'm shooting for like 12 gallons per hour, 12 gallons per acre output. And I got to do that with water. And yeah, once I do that, I'll be ready to do some spraying. So I'm going to have to do some spraying on the new land that I'm trying to start because it's got a lot of weeds. And I'm going to have to do some weed control on that, on both places. I actually bush hogged the place out that doesn't belong to my dad, the new place where I did the rock picking and all that. The weeds were bad enough with the oats that I'd planted that I just bush hogged them today. I probably could have baled them, but who wants to buy bales of half weeds, half oats? So I just said the heck with it and bush hogged it. If I had my own cows, it would have been perfect. I would have used it, but I don't, and I don't want to sell trash, so I bush hogged it, and then when it starts coming back, I'm going to spray it and try to do some weed control. Anyway, so I'm going to get back to work on this, and we'll talk to y'all later.